We are joined once again by Marvin Weinbaum. He is a scholar at the Middle East Institute and a former State Department analyst on Afghanistan. What is the purpose and the motivation behind the Europeans calling for yet another conference on Afghanistan?
Well, they're very anxious now because mainly of public opinion in those countries to be able to define what would represent to them an exit strategy. This debate that's going on, I think, is very helpful in a sense because it is forcing those people who want to stay the course there to better define what it is we're attempting to accomplish in Afghanistan.
Do you think that they are looking for an exit strategy at this point?
I believe they are, and I think they see that exit strategy in the security forces in Afghanistan. Perhaps wrongly so, they believe that those forces are in a position to take over the responsibilities that the Europeans and the U.S. is now carrying. I think that's wrong because we're still some years away from that.
That didn't seem to be what Gordon Brown or Chancellor Angela Merkel were suggesting. Can you be a bit more specific about why you think that this is the beginning of an exit strategy?
Well, I believe it's the beginning of an exercise here in which they're going to try to, in a way, deal with their own public in suggesting here that they have very much in mind the fact that they'd like to disengage. But it's true that the leaders at this point in time, I think, do recognize that they're going to have to stand with the U.S. and others to be able to test whether this strategy, which is being implemented now, has been for the last few months, is actually going to succeed. We're going to have to give it, I believe, some time to find out.
There are also growing calls in this country to scale back or even pull the plug on the American mission in Afghanistan. What would the consequences be of that?
I think they'd be quite disastrous, if you ask me, because I believe that what we've failed to do is to recognize the consequences of our actions. We've been very good, those of us who've been critics, we've been very good at identifying the need for setting objectives, in the difficulty in meeting those objectives, the cost, but we haven't been very careful here. I don't think we've been honest, really, in laying out what might be some of the outcomes should we bail out anytime soon. Right, and I'm talking about the region as well as what is likely to happen in the way of a civil war in Afghanistan.
But at the same time, supporters of the war do seem to have something of a difficult time defining what success in Afghanistan would be, what it would look like. How would you answer that question?
Well, I think we have to start by saying it's not going to be something that we'll call a victory. Certainly will not be a military victory. What it will be is to get to that point, and it means buying time, get to that point where these security forces are able to deliver the kind of basic security for the population that will render the Taliban's efforts here, I think, to be marginal. This means recapturing the faith, the confidence of the Afghan people in their own central government as well as in the international forces, and that's quite a hurdle.
All right, Marvin Weinbaum, thank you very much for joining us from Washington, D.C.